Hey, welcome back to Math Quest. Thank you for coming back. I assume you want me to drop some knowledge. Well, get ready to pick it up. So get your notebook ready to take some notes. All right, let's get started. Today we're going to write equations. One of the biggest things that students struggle with is taking a word problem and being able to write an equation out of it and then to solve it. So I'm going to give you quite a few words that and basically translate them into math words, right? Because math is its own language. So let's get started. Hopefully you got your notebook. You wrote down the title of this lesson, which is writing two-step equations. So that's a hint already. We already know there's going to be two-step equations. And so pay attention to what I'm going to show you right now. All right, let's get this going. So let's take a look at the first one here. 8 less than 3 times a number is negative 23. Okay. Write that statement down and then write this over this each letter. So 8 less, this is 8 less than something. So this is going to be subtraction. So this right here, whenever you see this, you can either see it as less than or more than. What that is telling you is to take whatever information they gave you here first and write it second. And whatever information they gave you second, move it over and write it first. Okay? Because it's 8 less than something. So let's take a look here. We're going to flip-flop. And so I know now that I'm going to write my 8 second. And I'm going to write this information first. Well, what information first? 3 times a number. 3 times a number. Well, this phrase here, 3 times a number, is simply 3x. Okay. And now, this right here is, well, that means equals. And then, of course, negative 23 is simply negative 23. So now I have to write it. I pretty much have it written. Remember, I had told you I have to flip this information, so I'm going to take this 3x, write it first, and this 8. But not only this 8, this latest 8 is less than the 3x. So therefore, I'm going to have 3x less than 8, right? So 8 less than 3x. And then I have is, which is my equal sign. And then I have negative 23. And that's it. I wrote my equation. Obviously, in the classroom, I'm going to have you solve them. But for now, our main focus is to be able to write two-step equations. Remember, two-step equations are called two-step equations because it requires 2 different operations to solve the equation. Most of the time, they have more than 2 steps to solve it. Okay, so let's take a look at another one here. 13 is 7 more than 1/5 of a number. Now, let's take a look here because we have the same thing here. More than, right? The last one was less than. This is more than. That just means I have a plus sign, right? And then again, 13 is 7 more than. So notice I have 13 is. That means 13 equals. And then this 7 here is the one that I'm going to move over, just like I did in the last problem. And 1/5 of a number is what moves over this way. You can write it in that order. I know we're used to writing the equal sign on this side and so forth. It doesn't matter where the equal sign is. So it's still going to be the same thing. So let's see. 13 is 7 more than 1/5 of a number. So that means 1/5 of a number plus 7. That's it. Remember this right here. Of means to multiply. Multiply. Okay? That's why when it says 1/5 of a number, since we don't know what a number is, that's when we use a variable, right? A number, x. And then since it's of, that means multiply. 1/5 of x. 1/5 times x. All right? Make sure you're writing all these notes down because this is what's going to help you write these accurately. And that would be the end. That would be my solution. Of course, before solving it, one of the common questions, well, can I write 1/5 x plus 7 equals 13? Sure. All you did was take this equals 13 and took it from this side and moved it to this side, yeah, it still equals 13. It's the same thing. Not a problem. Okay, let's take a look at another one here, a different one. If you're feeling confident, remember, always pause it, give it a shot, and then come back and see if you got it right. Okay, 10 increased by the quotient of a number and 6 is 5. At this time, I don't have a more than or less than, but I do have some other vocabulary that translates into math here. So let's write it. Let's write what it means here. So we have 10. That's my 10 increased by the quotient. Quotient. What does that mean? Quotient. That's division, right? Division of a number and 6. Well, this is a number and 6. Okay. Is 5. So then is my equal sign, and then 5. It's pretty much the equation. It's written right there in front of me. Okay. The quotient of a number and 6. Okay, I got all that. Okay, just making sure. So let's go ahead and write it. 10 plus x over 6 is 5. That's it. Now, this, I know if you're in pre-algebra, you're maybe not quite used to looking at the problems like this or this type of operation like this. Remember, you can always write them in this other format. Let me get a green here. 10 plus 1 over 6x equals 5. These two are exactly the same. Whatever you feel comfortable, go ahead and write it that way. You're going to be seeing both of them throughout your education career as you continue to take math classes. Okay? All right, let's take a look at another one. All right. Again, as always, feel free to pause it if you want to try it on your own. All right, we got the difference between 12 and 2/3 of a number is 18. Look, 2/3 of a number. Didn't we just do that up here? The quotient of a number, remember? That's a clue right there. I need to use a variable. Did we use it up here? Of a number, right? A lot of these repeat themselves. They're not too complicated once you learn the routine. So let's take a look. The difference between 12 and 2/3 of a number. That is just going to be straightforward. So that's going to be 12 minus 2/3 of a number is 18. That's it. The difference between 12 and 2/3. It's pretty straightforward, right? No flip-flopping on this one. Yeah, I was going to try something else, but I don't want to confuse you more than you're probably already confused. But you shouldn't be confused because these are pretty straightforward. Now, let's take a look at a real-world scenario here. We have a problem, and now we have to dissect it and pull the information out so that we can write our equation. Let's take a look at it. You buy 3 books that each cost the same amount in a magazine. Now notice, 3 books that cost the same amount in a magazine. Okay. So I got 3 books in a magazine that cost the same amount. Oh, no. Sorry. It's 3 books that cost the same amount plus a magazine. All for $55.99. Woo! The special. You know that the magazine costs $1.99. How much does each book cost? Not a problem. Brave enough? Pause the video and try it. There's no penalty for wrong answers. All right. Let's take a look. Several ways I can write it. I'm going to just go straight forward. 3 books that cost the same amount. I asked myself, well, what is that amount? They didn't tell me. Since they didn't tell me, that's the unknown. And we already know we use a variable for the unknown. So that's going to be 3x. Okay? 3x. X represents the cost of each book. And then if I take that and add the magazine, which they told me was $1.99, it will equal a total of $55.99. So don't hesitate. Call us now. Okay. That's it. I wrote the equation. That's it. Now, I do want you to solve them. Now, I know I'm not solving them here for you because I'm teaching you how to write the equation, but I need you to solve these as well, okay? In this case, you're going to end up subtracting 199 from both sides, and then you're going to divide by 3. Two-step equation. And remember, we use inverse operations, right? Do the opposite of what it's asking us to do. All right. Here's another one, I believe. This is the last one, so I hope you're paying attention. The current temperature is 54 degrees Fahrenheit. It is expected to rise 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit each hour. In how many hours will the temperature be 84 degrees Fahrenheit? Things that make you go, I know. Let's write an equation. Hey, give it a shot. Seriously, pause the video, give it a shot. Here we go. The current temperature is 54 degrees. Okay, 54 degrees. And it's expected to rise 2.5 degrees each hour. Notice that key word there. In this particular one, it told us each. Since that's going to be increasing, it's going to be changing, I need a variable on that number. That number of 2.5. So if I take 54, and since this is expected to rise, that's going to go up. That's addition. Each hour, so that's 2.5. And you can use H for hour. You can use, I always use X, but I recommend you use the first letter of the word that you're trying to solve for. In this case, we're trying to solve for hours. So go ahead and use H. That'll remind you at the end when you get an answer that your answer means hours. Okay? So 54 plus 2.5 hours equals 84. So we want to know when it will reach 84 degrees. Okay? That's it. That's how you write the equation. Of course, if I was going to solve it, I would subtract 2. Ooh, I almost messed up. See? Getting ahead of myself, but that's okay. We corrected our mistake. Hey, where's my pencil? Minus 54 here. Minus 54 here. Right? This is my equal sign here. So here, I create my 0 there. I got 2.5 hours equals 30. And then I got, now this is going to be divided by 2.5 on both sides. Remember that, this side becomes a 1H. And this 30 divided by 2.5 is, looks like 12. So 12. At this point, what happened to my pencil? At this point, I don't have to guess. 12. 12 is my answer. Well, what does that mean? That means 12 hours because I used H. I can remember. Oh, yeah, that stands for hours. All right. Hey, I hope you got value out of this. And if you did, like always, hit the like and subscribe button. All right. And I'll see you next time on Math Quest. Goodbye.